You're right. Iran isn't trying to occupy other countries. My country has been held hostage by the Islamic regime since 1979. And not only has the Islamic regime occupied Iran, they've also occupied Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan. The terrorist and illegitimate Islamic regime in Iran is the biggest sponsor of terrorism in the world. And the only reason you watermelon people actually care about the Islamic regime in Iran or think that they're your friend is because the Islamic regime in Iran hates Israel so much that you think that they actually support you. You hate Israel so much that you are willing and prepared to defend and support a brutal Islamofascist dictatorship that murders Iranian men, women, and children just because you hate Israel so much. If you care so much about human rights, where were you when the Islamic regime murdered Mahsa Amini? Where were you when Iranian women were protesting, when Iranian men were protesting? Where were you when the terrorist Islamic regime hanged thousands of innocent Iranians just because they were protesting, because they wanted freedom and democracy on the streets? You were nowhere. Do you know why? I know the reason. And you watermelon people can lie to non-Middle Eastern people all you want because you assume that they don't know the true facts about the Middle East. But you can't lie to an Iranian. You cannot lie to people who are from the Middle East. We all know the reason why you watermelon people support a brutal Islamofascist anti-Semitic dictatorship. They pay Hamas. They support Hamas. They fund, train, and arm Hamas. The fact that you are supporting a brutal Islamofascist dictatorship just proves that you are nothing but an anti-Semitic terrorist sympathizer. And you hate the fact that Iranian people are speaking out against the Islamic regime in Iran because you know that when Iran goes back to being a free and democratic society like it was prior to 1979, you are going to lose your paycheck because you rely on Iranian blood money and you don't care about Iranian lives. I have very little sympathy for people like you who support the terrorist and illegitimate Islamic regime in Iran. And I really hope you have a savings account because as soon as the Islamic regime is overthrown, your paychecks from the terrorist Islamic regime in Iran will stop. And then what are you going to do? Nothing. And don't take my word for it. Here's a message from Iranians in Iran to all the watermelon people who support Hamas and the terrorist Islamic regime in Iran. The more you know.